What's up, brewskis? My name is Marco Dupa. With me, as always, the great and powerful, it's Adam Obesius Rodriguez.
What's up?
Tonight's brew is from Hidden Springs Ale Works in collaboration with a local bar out here, the Thirsty Topher, one of my favorite bars. It's the Man-Child, peanut butter and jelly inspired sour ale.
Tampa Orlando Connect, right?
Yeah. So Obi's going to have a little bit more about that after the break. What's on tap for tonight? You heard the return of the dire wolf. This made news, and it was extraordinary.
Yeah.
It was enough that you listened to a whole podcast about it.
I was curious. Yeah.
And so we're going to talk about that.
Big Jurassic Park fan over here. I got to know these things.
Of course. We
also have news about the Nintendo Switch Part 2.
Yeah.
That we have enough of an update that we felt the need to do a Part 2 on our original story on the grand unveiling of it last week. So...
also, one of my favorite words, tariffs. One of my favorite words, groceries,
Silver
tariffs. We're not going to talk about the tariffs so much so as we're going to talk about how they are affecting the entertainment industry.
Stuff we love.
Namely...
eggs. No, I'm just kidding.
It's a whole pod about eggs.
I love eggs.
China's retaliatory tariffs.
China.
And what they are deciding to do... and the Switch 2. I don't know if you guys saw this, but they could be affecting the prices of, if the tariffs are affecting the prices of like an iPhone, you don't need another iPhone. You don't need a $5,000 iPhone anyway. Yeah. But damn it, if they are taking away our Switch and our movies, well, not really taking away our movies, but affecting the industry. We're going to go into more detail about it.
Yes.
All right. And then...
finally, we want to talk about Universal's next grand park, and that is Epic Universe.
Epic Universe.
They've had their family previews and also the press previews, so a lot of information's out there now. So I feel like it's the right time to talk about our feelings on the new park locally.
Do it. We can't do any of that until we crack open this beer and we start the show off proper. So this is episode 458 of the One Beer In podcast. Yeah. Oh, look at that.
Skål.
Lost to be found by someone to save you when you're down. Yes, I'm bored when it's bright out. So bored when it's bright out. 4 to 5 a.m.
Thought I knew it, but I
takes me
didn't
to
know.
a place where I fit in. Yes,
It's closer.
Close enough.
Yeah.
Close enough.
All right.
What you got, though?
Okay. Let's clink it and drink it, and then we're going to talk about this. You can smell it.
Yeah. It's like a Wonder Bread smell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is the One Beer In podcast, the podcast where two brews crack open a brew, and we see where that one brew takes us. My name is Marco. That's Adam. Let's talk. Let's talk about this beer. Obi, you want to tell the people a little bit more about what we're drinking tonight?
I would love to. We don't have a cold read on the can other than it's the Man-Child peanut butter and jelly inspired sour ale with grape and blackberry. But I do have a quick write-up on their website, hiddenspringsaleworks.com, which goes as follows. It's the same thing. Sorry. That's all you get. I mean, it just goes to show... I tell you the truth when I say I don't read these cold reads beforehand, because it is literally what it says in the can.
He vaguely saw words on a page
Yeah.
and was like, that information is going to be different than what I just saw here.
I had hoped so, but it is not. So it is a 5.5% ABV, and that's kind of all you get from the can, other than it is a collab, as you said before, with the Thirsty Topher.
So I wonder, two things. I wonder how long ago they made this beer. And then number two, who at Thirsty Topher did they collaborate with? specifically,
Yeah.
who was like, "This is what we want. This is what we want to represent the bar."
Well, I've got a dumb question. Is there a Topher at Thirsty Topher?
That's not a dumb question, but it's not something that I have the information readily available.
Someone let us know. I mean, it would make sense, but you know.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, Christopher.
It could be.
Could be a Christopher.
It's true. I just didn't know if it was like a Hootie and the Blowfish situation. You know?
Yeah, just make up a name.
Yeah.
It is the Thirsty Topher. So it could just be Thirsty Topher, but it's the Thirsty Topher.
The Thirsty Topher, yeah.
Okay, now that we've got that unsettled,
You
listen,
let us know. Oh, no, you let us know.
Okay, I have a bone to pick with Hidden Springs and every other beer company that does this. Okay, first of all, the no cold read is fine. That is a pretty common thing.
Unfortunately, I mean, I would love to see that changed, but I get that people do visual and just a strong name above having like, you know, a little paragraph.
Yeah.
I get it.
But without the cold read, now you have to use the space that you're given with the ingredients. And nobody's asking for the complete recipe.
Right.
I understand that when you brew a beer, you're not going to give every single hop and every single malt and everything that you do that goes into it. You don't want people just taking and going, oh, I can just do that at home. I get it. But this is peanut butter and jelly inspired sour ale with grape and blackberry. You know what else is in here? Nuts. And you know what else is in here? Lactose.
Yeah.
Now, for me, neither one of those things makes a difference. I don't have those kinds of allergies. But for some people, this could be devastating.
Yeah.
This could be night-altering stuff if we don't look this up. Now, I'm not saying it's like safety-wise, you know, it's not going to kill anybody, hopefully.
Well,
I mean, unless you have a
nuts.
nut allergy.
Okay, let me stop you there. It is on the can. However,
Where?
it is very tiny.
All right.
And it is below the government warning that everyone always skips.
All right. Here's the thing. Am I gonna eat that crow, or am I just gonna delete all of this?
No, you eat it. You eat it. I think your point stands though, because it would. With
It doesn't happen all the time, but I owe you guys an apology. Hidden Springs, I owe you guys an apology.
Hey, I don't think you do. I think you should stand on that.
Okay.
Because that should be
Should be
warning
prominently
should
featured.
be prominently featured in the description.
Yeah.
I mean, like the fact that it says peanut butter, you should understand if you can't eat peanut butter, you shouldn't have this beer.
It says peanut butter inspired.
Sure. Replace the keep cold, drink fresh down there and just put that warning underneath it.
Contains nuts and lactose.
Please.
You know, it's almost like they're trying to hide it.
Help a brother
You know
out.
what? I'm not taking it back.
You shouldn't.
I'm standing on it.
You shouldn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ridiculous. Okay. Let's talk about dire wolves.
Done being mad.
Yeah. Well, for now. Who knows? Something else might spark it.
Yes.
It's only a matter of time.
It's true. So yeah, dire wolves apparently have been brought back from extinction.
Yeah.
And that's according to Colossal Biosciences, who apparently genetically modified the. Oh whoa! You bringing in a dire wolf? Here it is. Here's the dire wolf.
This is the dire wolf. This is what years, centuries, millions of years of evolution. We've gone from those things, dire wolf, to this thing.
Yes, 100,000 years of evolution. This
Look at
is
this.
what happens.
This is what happens.
Yeah.
Okay, continue.
Yeah.
Just wanted people to have a point of reference.
Sure. Yeah.
I mean, she has the coat,
Yeah.
the all white dire wolf coat,
The fang.
the fang, the one fang.
But yes, this company called Colossal Biosciences has apparently brought back the dire wolf through gene editing technology. And people were pointing to this and it's making huge headlines everywhere as essentially like Jurassic Park come true. Like genetic modifications of current existing animals and taking the DNA that was taken from frozen dire wolves and splicing together in a way that allows us to have this brand new amalgamation of what a dire wolf would have been.
Yeah.
However, there's more to the story.
Okay, that's what I was hoping.
Yeah. I mean, on paper, sounds incredible and impressive and very cool. And it is. I mean, it is to a certain extent. I don't know about you, but while I was reading through these articles, I started to get the sneaking suspicion that this was like way more of a publicity thing than it was an actual scientific achievement.
Yeah.
Just the way it was being publicized and the like well edited and shot videos, like promo videos about the direwolves.
Yeah.
And the fact they had this entire like promo rollout ready with George R.R. Martin, taking pictures with the direwolf puppies.
Yeah.
I don't know. It came off to me like, is this all AI or something? Like, it felt weird.
Right.
And my spidey senses were tingling also because from what I saw, there wasn't much in the way of like scientific papers written about exactly what they did. And it was much more of just this like, hey, we brought back an extinct creature. Check it out.
All of this is pointing toward, Jurassic Park in real life.
Right.
Still.
Right. And so I've been a little skeptical about it because even looking at their social media, from Colossal Biosciences, which sounds like a Resident Evil company.
Yeah. Colossal Biosciences.
I don't know about you guys, but I've seen sci-fi before, and this does not feel like it will end well. But looking at their social media posts about this, like, people are like, okay, do dinosaurs next, or like, okay, do woolly mammoth next.
Right.
And they just respond with working on it. It's like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
What are we doing?
Yeah.
So all of that to say, I was very skeptical, and so I was kind of hoping that someone would do this, and they did. Hank Green on I think his channel is called Hank's Channel. He's been on YouTube for a long time. He's kind of in the way of like Bill Nye the Science Guy. Talks a lot about science. Is scientifically knowledgeable. I don't think he considers himself a scientist himself, but he had a video all about the direwolves and what Colossal Biosciences has been doing in general. And okay, so first of all, what they did essentially was take the vast majority of genetic makeup from current wolves that exist in our world today, splice in some of the genetic makeup from the dire wolves that they have. That, I mean, one example of which is almost 100,000 years old.
Yeah.
So they were able to get actually a good amount of biological data from that.
How do you do that?
It was frozen. So if something stays frozen long enough, apparently the DNA has a higher chance of sticking around and being viable.
Wow.
So they had apparently two main dire wolves that they'd found frozen, and used those two as the sort of genetic markers to pull into the current wolf DNA that they have.
Okay.
And so this is where the sort of definitions come in about, like, is this really a direwolf or not? Because yes, they modified a modern day wolf with the genetics of an ancient direwolf to create something wholly new. But a lot of people point out that the similarities between current day wolves and dire wolves are like oceans apart.
Yeah.
I think what Hank Green said was, it's essentially like saying that humans and chimpanzees are the same. They're similar. And genetically speaking, they're very similar, but you can see they're very different as well.
Yeah.
So the gap, the sort of classification gap between those two creatures, the modern day wolf and the dire wolf, is that distant. So is this that these creatures that they've created, are they actually what direwolves were? Are they actually what naturally direwolves were and how they looked and how they behaved? Probably not. But do they have direwolf DNA in them and probably some characteristics and traits? Yes. So in a way, it's overstated that these are direwolves that have been resuscitated from extinction. But it's still impressive because these scientists created something wholly new.
Yeah.
These things don't exist. They're biologically engineered creatures.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So like the Earth has never seen what these dogs are.
Yeah.
You know? So that alone is, I mean, groundbreaking and interesting. Is it going to save the world from extinction ever happening again? No. And really what this guy's video pointed out as like the best case scenario for using this technology is essentially to make animals that fit into a slot where extinctions have happened. So these direwolves are not going to go into the wild because what direwolves ate historically no longer exist.
Right.
So these are essentially like biological freaks. They don't belong anywhere in nature.
Don't say that when they're around.
Sorry. I mean, they're very cute.
For now.
For now, yeah.
We don't know what they're going to turn into.
Give them a few years, you know. But
They're going to be like, Papa.
kill me. Kill me.
This is really getting your engine going, man. This is really revving your engine, man.
You got no idea. I'll get to it. But, okay, long story short, the idea is the way that they can use this technology is to essentially create, bioengineer creatures, because they're not making it out of whole cloth, right? They're not just like creating something in a test tube and making it happen. It's like they're taking hybrids of things and putting them together. They can do that. Let's say like a certain elk goes extinct. They can make another elk that can fit into that like ecosystem.
Yeah.
And therefore resuscitate the ecosystem in that area. That is the sort of hopeful future of this technology.
Yeah, but I mean, if we do that, I mean, you have to tackle the reason why they went extinct in the first place. And if it's us just going out there and murdering them, then what's gonna change? We're just gonna keep making them so that people can keep going out there and destroying this ecosystem anyway.
Well, you see, in biologically engineering these creatures, they can make them stronger to whatever killed off the original.
Like bullets.
Sure. Yeah.
Give them Teflon skin.
That won't go sideways. Yeah, but you know, like, I don't know, if let's say global warming is happening in the area, they can breed them with something, or not breed, but genetically modify them with DNA of a creature that is more used to the subtropics. You know, like that's sort of the idea behind it. And what essentially they've been working on, this company has been doing already. They've already worked on stuff like that. So this is just like the next step, I guess, is like bringing back extinct creatures, using air quotes, bringing back extinct creatures, which is really more so like it's just like Jurassic Park. They're not recreations of dinosaurs. They are genetically modified like amalgamations of what we perceive dinosaurs to be using DNA from that creature and another one. Dino DNA. So, you know, I've been rambling on a lot. I have one more thing to say about this.
It's okay.
I have one more thing to say about this. And it's that understanding the mechanics involved and the fact that, you know, these so-called direwolves are essentially like wholly new creatures that humans have created. It freaks me out.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
Yeah.
It's kind of scary to me to know that like that just happened and there's no restrictions on them continuing to do this. And in fact, they have plans to create a woolly mammoth and they're going to continue to pursue this endeavor. and it's not for anything other than to say we've done it.
Right.
And like looking at these wolves, I feel bad because it's like you've just been created as a freak show, as an experiment.
Yeah.
It's like Frankenstein, you know, like
Yeah.
we are doing this, we're meddling with this science because we can. And
They never stop to think if we should.
if we should. But it's true. It's like
it really is true.
I understand the technology as far as like trying to help ecosystems continue to carry on, and you know, I don't know. I mean, maybe,
but even that, I don't think, unless it was like a man-made, or if we had a hand in destroying said ecosystem, then sure. But if it just happened, you know, if they just went extinct, it's like, well, that's it.
well, that becomes larger conversation, because then you can talk about ethics, you can talk about theology. You know, Christians see themselves as the caretakers of all the living creatures. So if we mess something up, then
Except for gay people.
Well, yes, they can be saved. Don't worry. Conversion therapy will force you to not be gay, or to not be gay. Sorry, I'm slipping up myself. Yeah, I mean, I that opens up a whole can of worms about like what humanity's place is in the natural order of things, because you know, our existence alone affects the world greatly.
Sure.
So, you know, do we owe it to the world to try to counter a lot of the negative effects that we've had on the planet? Or, you know, do we chalk it up to natural selection? Do we just say, like, you know, we're animals technically too, so this is just the way things go?
That's a good question.
It's complicated.
It is.
You know?
Because it's not like, I mean, we you know, most of us anyway are the highest form of intelligence on this planet.
Yeah.
So the things that we've done because evolution or God or whatever has bestowed upon us enough intelligence to do the things
The
that we've
burden
done, right?
of conscience.
Right. And so with that does come like all of this destruction and everything. But yeah, I mean, I guess it is a very interesting debate, I guess, if the things that we've done, if that is technically also natural selection, because we're here too, and we're doing what we have done.
Yeah.
And we're doing what, I mean, people have this idea that like if gorillas, like Planet of the Apes, if all of a sudden apes were a higher form of
Sentient.
intelligence,
Yeah.
and like, what do you think that they would have like this moral, like they would probably, not to say that they probably, but there's no telling if they would just do what we did in a different way.
Well, it seems like anything with consciousness has the ability to do good and bad, you know?
Right.
Like, it no longer becomes a conversation of just like survival, because, you know,
Now you're making choices.
a leopard ripping apart a rabbit isn't evil.
Right.
You know, it's eating, it's hunting.
Yeah.
It may do so in a way that is brutal and horrible and horrific to see, but it's doing its thing.
But once that leopard has consciousness and you can be like, hey man, do you want to eat anything else?
Right.
And he's like, no, you know, I kind of just want to eat the rat. Like he's right. Like what else is he doing over there?
Or like, how about you break its neck so it doesn't suffer,
Right.
and you don't eat its
or like let us
insides.
kill it humanely and then
We'll give it to you.
And then it's
Yeah.
like, nah, you know, I kind of just something in my DNA is telling me to rip it apart.
I really want to.
in the most gruesome. I want blood all over my face. I don't know. It's just something. Just something's telling me I gotta kill it.
We'll give you
Murder it.
Give you some pig blood to play with. That's
Yeah,
it. Yeah.
it's just not the same.
Yeah.
Now let that pig roam free and let me catch it. Yeah, you might be talking my language there now. You know,
Get some fresh gabagoo.
leopard all of a sudden is wearing a bowling shirt,
Yeah.
gold bracelets.
Uh-huh.
You just you put the pig out there. You let me do what I do best.
Got a chain with a saint on it.
All right, here we go. We're on the hunt. We're on the hunt now. Okay, are we? Do you have anything else to add?
That's it. That's all I had to say about it. What
The
do you?
dire wolf diatribe. That's
Yes,
what we call
yes,
this
yes.
section.
I mean, it's regardless, it's exciting, it's interesting, but I find it very scary and unsettling at the same time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And that's all I have to say about that.
Okay.
Okay.
That was fun.
I hope so. I hope people enjoyed
Fun
that.
for me. Okay. We got to pick back up where we left off from last week. We had a big, long conversation about the Switch 2 and how excited we were about the prospect of this new console coming out, the technology therein, and the price point. And I do remember us having a bit of a conversation about the price point, the games themselves, and everything like that, and being like kind of on the fence of like, well, if the game is worth it, but it's scary where the industry is going. If this game can cost $80, what's next? So on and so forth.
Yeah.
But I don't remember us taking that hard of a stance on it.
Yeah.
And then after we recorded the show, I go on vacation. We'll talk about that later. And I'm looking online and I'm just seeing all of this discourse about the price of the console, the price of the games, the footage that's come out of Mario Kart World, and how people are like, "This is $80. This is what you're trying to get us to pay $80 for."
Yeah. It became a larger issue beyond Mario Kart and became more about like video games at large.
Right.
And giving permission for these companies to charge $80, $90, $100.
So we'll talk about the tariffs thing in a bit, because that is obviously important to all of this. And Nintendo rather.
It's already been affected.
Right. So we'll talk about that in a second. But let's talk about the pricing itself and like how this has been received, because the announcement comes out and everybody's excited about the Switch. And then I think the more and more people kind of had a chance to chew on this stuff, the more that the opinions kind of changed, or people already had felt how they felt about it. But I thought a couple of things were pretty interesting. Namely, one thing where so essentially no one is happy about the fact that Nintendo is trying to get away with $80 games, no matter what the game is. Essentially, people are like, "Well, no,
Here we go."
that's insane."
Yeah.
And I thought that tweet that you shared in the Discord. I'm trying to find that. So I thought that one was interesting. Where'd it go? Here it is. Yeah, I don't have I'm not logged in on my and I'm not gonna. This is courtesy of at Good Game Kofi. I'm not an $80 defender at all, but some of y'all crashing out over Mario Kart Worlds have purchased the digital deluxe ultimate edition version of games just for some extra skins and a couple of days early access. I don't know. Maybe these companies have taken notice. Gamers are actually down to spend $100+ on games. Vote with your wallet. Then he showed a bunch of examples of games. The Forza PS5 is $80. Their premium edition is $130. The Indiana Jones game, $93.50. The game bundle, the premium edition is $133.50. F1 $25. The iconic edition is $114. $99 or $100 bundle for Death Stranding, so on and so forth. So I thought that was a pretty interesting perspective, because we talk about that a lot.
Yeah.
Voting with your wallet.
You got to understand, like, in our economy, you only give... You teach companies to charge what they're going to charge.
Right.
And they can only get away with it if you buy it. Mm-hmm. Which sucks, because, of course, if you want the thing, you're going to want to buy the thing.
Right. So it's a tough position to put the consumer in, and
I'm not saying it's right, but
right.
that's what happens.
And for the record, for the purpose of this conversation, I do want to just wholly put aside the idea of like, well, just don't buy the game. Like, what do you need video games for?
Sure, yeah.
Go fuck yourself.
Yeah,
How about that?
no.
I don't even want to have that conversation. sure, it's an interesting perspective, but we're not going to philosophize on should we be playing video games in the first place.
And you can spend your money however you want to.
Right.
If you want the $130 special ultra max edition, go ahead.
Yeah.
You know, look, this has happened to me last week. I was playing Lost Judgment, the sequel to Judgment.
Okay.
The spin-off of the Yakuza games.
Sure.
Okay?
Right.
And I realized that there was a like special upgrade edition that I had already bought the game. And I realized there's a special like upgrade edition version of it that came with all the DLC. There's like, you know, story DLC, there's skins and extra add-ons and whatnot. Mm-hmm. And it was on sale. It was like $13. And I said, I like this studio enough and these games enough that they've earned my money.
Sure.
So I will go above and beyond and pay extra for this.
Yeah.
And that was my choice, and I don't regret it in the slightest.
Sure. You
You can do that. It's fine. It's not a judgment on people who on people who do buy those special editions. It's just saying, again, they're learning that they can get away with charging that much because it makes a profit.
Yeah.
And it still does.
Well, and I think that like the point that you're making is that like you already bought the baseline game and you've already like bought into this series and this studio. So you are literally voting with your wallet. You're saying like, listen,
more.
The content that you are providing is worth this money. Right. So you're saying it's worth it, right?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
That and
I would have paid more for it. Don't let them hear that, but I would have.
But I guess the point is on some of this stuff, is it like what is worth it?
Yeah.
Right. And for the general consumer, you get trained to know what the price is of a certain thing. We all agreed that $60 was an acceptable price for video games.
And that, I feel like the $50 price point stuck around the longest. Mm-hmm. That was the baseline for a long, long time. Before that, it was even more.
Right.
And then eventually things leveled out to the point where we're all playing on discs, on Blu-ray discs, and everything became $50.
Right.
You could buy a game for $20 if it was like a classic, whatever, PlayStation Classic.
Yeah, and you know, for the record, you can still do that. There's a lot of like classic games that
especially online.
Yeah. So we all agreed $60 for from like PS3 onward.
Yeah,
was the baseline price. Then we get to PS5 and they're like, what about $70? And everyone's like, well, it is the current gen and the technology in this thing. This is a very powerful machine, most powerful it's ever been.
Yeah, games are bigger, they're more expensive to make.
And the economy and
this economy,
all of these things that go into it, it's like, sure, okay,
COVID,
$70. You're kind of breaking me a little bit, but okay, I can deal with it.
People didn't like it.
And you know what? I think that studios didn't let the $70 simmer long enough.
Yeah.
You got to let people go, well, $70 is what video games cost. So that's
baseline. Yeah.
You got to let that become the natural order of things before you jump in and go, how about another? Because here's the thing. People are not looking at it as another $10. They're looking at it as another $20, right? Because we're already looking at the $10 price hike for the current gen.
Yeah.
So in my head, games should still cost $60 because, for the record, there hasn't been that many blockbuster releases for the PS5, right? Mm-hmm. So in my head, all of the games that I've purchased so far that like are big games that I really loved were $60. And if I got anything for the PS5, it was mostly like an up-res version from a PS4 game, right? $70. You gotta let people get used to that first. And I think now you want to go to 80, and GT Rockstar is going, hey, if they're gonna pay 80, they'll pay 100 for GTA 6.
I think that was already a plan before this.
No, absolutely. But what has happened now is Rockstar has definitely looked at all of this and gone, oh, we're definitely going to charge $100.
The math is mathing for us.
Yeah. So before, if they were going, well, we'll see how the market goes and we'll see how people feel about this, that, and the other thing. Now they have to be looking at it and just thinking, they'll pay anything. They'll pay anything.
And I'm sure a brand as big as Rockstar and GTA itself, they're going to try to justify it in some way by saying like, oh, you'll get free DLC, or like it's going to be a ever expanding world map, and et cetera, et cetera. They try to justify it.
If those things are the case, then it may be justified, because you have to think, like, again, going back to like GTA 5, if you collected how much it cost for all of the DLC storylines, all of the stuff that you wanted to do in GTA Online, if you put all of that money together, you probably spent over $100 on the game, right?
Shark cards, baby.
Oh, those shark cards. I'm not even talking about the virtual currency. I'm just talking about like, hey, I want to play this new story mode, or I want to play these new missions or whatever. So I'll pay that. Idiot. So you've already spent that much money. And they're probably looking at GTA Online and going, well, they already spent this much.
I can almost guarantee GTA Online is going to be a free side thing.
Because of how much they're going to charge for the base game.
Yes, and you'll get it for free. Maybe it'll be locked off to people who buy the game, and just be like, you're getting this free side project that you can pay to get new weapons and skins and yada yada yada.
I don't see myself as much fun as GTA Online was when it first came out. Sorry, that was like 11 years ago now. 12 years ago. When did it come out? It's like 10 or 11 years.
Long time ago.
I was a different man.
I remember the testing of it. God.
Dude, we were different dudes, man.
Absolutely.
My life is way different now.
Smaller.
We were smaller men. And I don't have time to be sitting around playing GTA Online. I want to play the game, and it's going to take me probably 6 months to beat it.
I'm in that place of my life too, where like I have to be very judicious with what games I play.
Yeah.
And
you also play like 4 games at a time.
I've stopped doing that.
Oh. New development.
I've locked in, and what I've done is like set a goal. I'm like, okay, it's like book reading. Like I will set a goal to like
reads books.
I still do. It's really hard.
This guy and his books.
Pages. It's crazy.
Ridiculous.
But I have to set sort of like focus goals and be like, as much as I want to play this other game I have, I should really focus on this one thing. Mm-hmm. Up until a point, because it can get to the place where you're like, I'm really not in the mood to play this game, but I feel like I should because I'm already playing it. No. It's for fun.
Right.
You play what you want to play.
Right.
So there are times where I'm like, fuck it. I'm going to play something else.
Yeah.
And I'll dip a toe. But then eventually I'll get back to what I'm focusing on. I'm like, oh yeah, I love this actually, and that's why I'm playing it. Mm-hmm. So that's been Lost Judgment. But, I'm in the place of my life, and I feel like a lot of our listeners are probably around that same age where there's other responsibilities. It's hard to find the time. You have to kind of like, you have to find the time as opposed to just having the time.
Yeah.
So, and I'm sure that only gets worse when you have a kid. You have to like really fight and scratch your way to get an hour to play something. So,
yeah, and I mean, it's not like it's going to be the only game on the market. So imagine that game comes out. If, let's say,
there's already too many games.
Exactly.
Too much good stuff to play.
If Rivals is still going strong, like they've been going, I mean, they're only in their second season. Mm-hmm. If by the time GTA comes out and Rivals is still doing what they've been doing,
yeah.
Not to say that, I mean, the world is going to stop. The gaming world is going to stop.
It's one of the only games that can do that.
Yeah. So I'm not saying that there is nothing that will stop the freight train that is GTA 6 when it finally comes out.
Yeah.
But I am saying that like adults have to prioritize certain things. And so it's just getting harder and harder to justify like, hey, listen, yes, it's going to be $100, but all of this cool shit comes along with it. It's just when you're talking to people who are like, listen, I kind of don't give a fuck about all that other stuff.
Yeah.
So can I have the version of the game that doesn't have all that stuff? And then like maybe when I'm ready, I'll give
can
you
get
another
into it.
30,
Yeah.
right? If you're going to force me to pay 100, I'll just say this. I cannot see myself, if there's not even like an option for the baseline game, I probably won't buy GTA. I'm definitely not going to buy it like day of.
Yeah.
I'll definitely be a late adopter. There's no way I'm just going to have $100 laying around for GTA 6.
I'm getting a day of. I have to. I have to. I have to. I have to. And it's only because it is.
Well, you're part of the problem.
I gotta know though. You know, like it's been so long.
And you know how many millions of people have just said that same sentence? I gotta know though.
And that's why they're gonna make $1 billion in the first
Part of
day.
the problem. It's ridiculous.
I'm sorry.
We just talked for like 40 minutes about this.
GTA is different though. Okay, it's different.
No, that's the problem. It's not different.
Yeah, well, we'll see.
Rockstar thinks it's different. They think they're different. They probably are.
They absolutely are. They absolutely. Just like I would buy, a Last of Us 3 day one if it was $100. I still would. I'm sorry.
I don't know about that.
I would do that, and I would have to sacrifice like buying another game in the next like quarter, but I would because I have an intrinsic trust in the brand, and they may disappoint me, and I may be found out to be a fool. But I gotta know. All that to say, yeah, I think there's a lot of controversy about the $80 for Mario Kart because Nintendo is not known to be like this ultra next gen, like high end, high performance console.
Yeah, that's definitely the biggest thing with Nintendo. Is like we're talking about GTA, we're talking about Xbox,
Yeah,
we're talking about PC games,
yeah.
where you can
Cutting
kind of
edge.
Yeah, you can kind of get away with, hey, it's going to cost X amount of dollars because all of this. But with Nintendo, you're like, okay, but you guys are still. I mean, you've stepped it up.
Oh, yeah.
But you're still like far behind the
they-
industry standard.
They are always one step behind.
Yeah.
Consistently, and you even see it like with they're gonna have Cyberpunk on the console,
Right.
Which is impressive and it's cool and it looks great, but you can tell there's a graphical step down,
Right.
between Switch 2, which isn't even out yet, and a PS5.
And also,
or a
it's
PC.
like, oh yeah, okay, cool. You're gonna release the game 3 years after, and it's gonna not even look as good and perform as well.
And fanboys will say, well, it's on a handheld technically, which is true. That's impressive, but
yeah, but why the fuck would I want to play a game that large on a handheld?
and that's where you get into, is it really worth it? And
I don't think it is. And I think it's insane that Nintendo thinks that they can be the ones to adopt this price point earlier than everyone else.
Well, and to be completely honest, I think I think the Switch 2 looks like it's going to be a good console. I don't want to poo-poo it too much. I think it looks cool.
I mean, we already talked about how good it looks.
But I really, in hindsight now, after seeing the reveal of the Switch 2 and its technical specs and the games that are going to come out for it, I kind of wish they didn't try to make their mobile console everything. I kind of wish they would go back to having a dedicated handheld and a dedicated home console, where the home console could be like the latest technology while still like taking advantage of the art direction and the games that we know and love from Nintendo and can only get from Nintendo. But instead of being one step behind technologically, at least get on par and maybe even a little bit ahead of the curve and let your creatives go wild and see what they can do.
Yeah.
Like get back to that SNES era where you're on the cutting edge of home consoles and you are the sort of the go-to as far as what home consoles can do,
Right.
while also having your Marios that you can only get on your Nintendo console, your Mario Karts, all of the Mario stuff, Metroid, everything, Zelda, all that stuff can still exist and have its charm and still, not have to be ultra realistic and all that stuff, but take advantage of the technology on hand. And then you can have your handheld console that can do other stuff and specialize in other things.
You're not wrong. I mean, we've kind of forgotten about the fact that there was a point where Nintendo was the industry leader, and this will never happen in a million years because they seem to have firmly set themselves into this lane and kind of accepted the fact that they're going to be not even third place. They've kind of taken themselves out of the race completely.
They consider themselves completely separate from the Sony and Microsoft war.
But it is interesting to think about the fact that, like, why couldn't Nintendo just go, we're going to make a robust $500 machine that is going to compare with all these other, we're going to give you a third option. It's going to be called like the Super Nintendo 3 or something like that.
Sure, that'd be awesome.
Like, why couldn't they do that? It is interesting to think about. I mean, and I'm sure that it's a whole podcast series worth of information as to why.
It's because they've cornered themselves in the family market, and they don't want to sully what they've grown since the Wii, essentially.
Yeah. Well, yeah, true. And you're gonna, if you want to, I mean, well, they're putting Cyberpunk on there, and that's a pretty adult game.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they're putting adult games on their console again, and sports games and things that you haven't seen really in a long time.
You gotta be a big Switch fan to be like, I'm gonna play NBA 2K on my Switch.
Well, and that's what makes me believe that they are trying to bring some of the, like, I don't know, the Joe Blows back to Nintendo.
Yeah.
And not just have it being a family console for, dad and mom and kid.
Yeah.
Or just kid,
Yeah, because, I mean, the Switch is the game, the console, rather, that you buy for your kids, or it's like your second or third console.
Yeah.
If you're well off enough
to
have purchased multiple consoles. So, yeah, I mean, even thinking about the price point and thinking like, I paid that much for my PS5. Why would I spend that on this? And then $80 games. Like, I guess the thing is, if I'm going to spend $80 on a game, why would I ever allocate that money to a Switch game? Like, for instance, a Cyberpunk. Like, if I don't own Cyberpunk and I already have a PS5, in what universe would I buy it on the Switch and not my PS5, right?
So not all games are going to be $80.
Well, I'm not saying that. I'm just using that as like an example. I guess I understand that it's like the flagship games. They're big games.
Yeah.
But the point stands that people are going to say like, oh, it's $80 to get until they do like further research, they're going to be like, because that's what's making headlines right now. Yeah. It's like the $80 price point.
People assume all Switch 2 games are going to be $80.
Right.
It's not the case.
And so that's a hurdle that they're going to have to get over, which is public perception. This is what's going viral. You look on Twitter and like that's what people are talking about.
And to be fair, they've done a terrible job at trying to assuage people that are worried about this.
Well, on the topic of that, let's get into the tariffs a little bit. Sure. Let's get into the other thing. But the tariffs have scared a lot of people. And as of this recording, which will come out a little bit later, but by the time you guys get to this, who knows what has happened? Trump
can't say.
Trump has paused most tariffs for 90 days.
While increasing China.
Yeah, so it appears that Trump wants to get into a trade war with China.
Sounds smart.
Yeah, we don't have time to get into.
Sounds like something we should do.
But so as of this recording, the Dow is up. There's all of this like kind
rebound.
of, yeah, and people are like, okay, well, it's still not back to where it was before he announced all these tariffs, but it's back up. Excuse me. This is going to still affect the Switch.
Yeah.
And it's still going to affect the movie industry, which we'll get into in a second. To your point about the fact that Nintendo has done a piss poor job of making people feel better about this sort of thing, when the tariffs were announced, they literally were just like, hey, listen, you might not be able to get it.
That's why we still have the Switch 1 available.
And that's crazy.
Buy more Switch 1 games,
They're like,
you baby.
Just buy the thing that we are like that we're moving on from.
Which your broke ass.
If you need this so badly, you broke bitch, get a Switch 1. And then when the time comes, you can get a Switch 2 when we feel like lowering the prices. Like, stop being a fucking bitch about it. Jesus Christ. These babies just moaning. Whining. I want to Switch 2. I want it to be affordable. I want to be able to play with my friends.
Shut up.
You don't have friends. What are you talking about?
You don't have a Switch 2.
You don't have a Switch. So shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Just shut the fuck up.
You mean literally nothing to us.
Jesus Christ. Like, I can't hear it anymore. You know, I just walk down the halls and it's just babies.
Wah, wah, wah.
Mario Kart World looks like shit. Wah.
My 401k.
Wah. I'm going to lose everything. Wah. What are you crying about? God, just get a Switch 1.
A Switch.
Jesus.
Just get a Switch.
So, yeah. Tariffs on China.
Yeah, I mean, it's already caused the Switch 2 reservations to be pushed back in America and Canada. I'm sorry, Canada.
Sorry, Canada.
Yeah, they lump us together.
Yeah,
So,
it's too bad.
sorry.
There's too many white people there. Yeah.
They speak French up there.
It's a different
crazy.
kind of white, yeah.
Yeah.
It's more like a beige,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. It's the poutine.
Yeah. And the lack of sun.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. With the Switch, there's definitely an air of mystery around it and all of this stuff. Who knows what's going to happen? I really don't feel like they're going to go any lower.
No.
You know?
No.
So, I guess the thing is, like, don't put any eggs in the basket that, like, hey, maybe this stuff will come out on the other side.
Yeah, no.
And it'll be a more affordable machine.
Absolutely not.
It will
There's
not.
no way.
It will not.
They are not going to bring the manufacturing of the Switch 2 to America.
No, absolutely. And that was one. And I understand that that's what a lot of pundits will tell you is part of the point of these tariffs is to
I get it.
bring
Yeah.
back American
Manufacturing.
production and all that stuff. Nintendo would rather their company collapse than to start producing products in America.
Well, I hate to get into it, but I'm going to briefly do that. We don't currently have the infrastructure. We don't have the factories. We don't have the workers who can do this immediately.
Yeah.
We can build those things. We can't do it tomorrow.
And we're not going to be able to do it for the price that they do it in Japan.
Absolutely
You're going to have
not.
to pay everybody a fair wage, which you can get into the conversation of, well, what about the people over there? And what about the child labor?
I
What
mean,
about
they manufacture these things in, Taiwan,
right.
some places, China, where else? Vietnam.
Right. And they're paying them, 8 cents to do that. Sure.
Yes.
That's a conversation for another day.
Yeah.
If you want to bring back that stuff here, you think anybody's going to screw together an iPhone for less than like $20, $25 an hour? You think anybody's going to be sitting in a factory slapping screens onto iPhones and Galaxies and everything for less than a livable wage?
Well, this is all doing middle America a favor. We're helping the blue collar worker to finally pull himself up from his own bootstraps and earn $125 an hour to sew buttons on my Levi jeans.
Yeah. So I don't think that's going to happen. Anything else to get into with the Switch before we move on to the
no,
Hollywood?
I think you capped it off right, which is saying, like, we don't know.
Yeah.
We will find out. But I will say the very mercurial nature of Trump's tariff plans is messing everything up for everyone.
Yeah.
Because if it was, let's say the tariffs were to stick around, at least we'd know what we were working with.
Right.
But the fact that it keeps going on and off is making it so, first of all, companies can't start investing in American manufacturing.
Right.
Because they don't know if that's going to change. And then foreign companies can't continue with their plans as they are because they don't know if they're going to be tariffed to death. So we're in a bad place right now. We'll see how it turns out.
Yeah.
But hopefully things stabilize at some point once, all these deals are made that are apparently in discussion. We'll see.
They called me and they were begging me. They begged me.
70 companies.
70
countries.
70 countries they called. You wouldn't believe they called and they were begging. They were begging. They want to do trade with us. Don't let the media tell you otherwise. They want to trade.
I'm sure they loved hearing that.
They
too.
love to trade. They were on their knees. They were sucking me off. They were
sucking my cock.
They were sucking the cock. They were on it. They were on it bad.
On the orange cock.
And I didn't even want. I pushed a couple of them away. I said, "Ew, that's disgusting. Close your mouth. It's gross. I don't want to see it.
Too much teeth. Too much teeth. Like some say, too much teeth.
Too much teeth. It's way too much teeth. It's a very. I want more gum. I want more tongue. It's way too teethy. I don't like it. It's teethy.
Teethy.
Oh my god.
Yeah. How do we get here?
Yeah, that's gonna be a bad one. All right, so let's move on to the tariffs on China. They're retaliating with their own tariffs.
Yeah.
And then they're also saying like, hey, listen, you know what else? You know what the fuck else? We aren't going to play your fucking movies over here. How about that? And a lot of people were like, well, fuck them. China doesn't even help us with the last couple of big movies made a shit ton of money domestically. What do we need China for? And to that I say, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
A lot, my friend.
I mean, if you want these big blockbuster Hollywood movies to thrive.
Your Marvel movies, my friend.
Yeah. So I guess like the biggest example I saw a lot of people bringing up was the fact that like Spider-Man did really well without China. I think it made like $1 billion without China.
Sure.
But it also took in like $300 million in China alone.
Also, Spider-Man's like a unicorn franchise.
Yeah.
Like you slap Spider-Man on anything, it's going to be successful.
Right. You can't use one of the most popular franchises in American history.
It's like Superman.
Yeah. And then you say, well, Spider-Man did okay. Yeah, man. No fucking shit.
It's Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
Yeah.
But there are other like middling movies that don't have an IP such as Marvel to hang their hat on.
Yeah.
That definitely need China. Now here's the thing. For the record, I would love it if these movies could be so successful domestically that we didn't need any outside help. And not just China, but period.
We talked about this in the past, about the nefarious interest that China has had on Hollywood.
Right.
And the fact that there have been changes made to American-made movies.
Right. Stars are born literally because certain companies are like, he's going to play well in China.
Yeah.
That's just the truth.
Definitely not black guys. I'll tell you that much.
No.
They get erased.
And so it would be wonderful if these movies could perform well enough domestically that they didn't need outside help. The problem is that the entire infrastructure of Hollywood is so fucked up right now that these movies, the budget for these movies is ballooning to the point that it's kind of essential that they do well in other countries, namely China. China, they go see movies. They just do. And they spend millions and millions of dollars to see these movies.
There's a ton of people in China, if you don't know.
And they
love action movies.
You can't make a movie for $300 million and expect to recoup that in America alone. It will never happen.
Yeah, no.
Unless it's Spider-Man.
Yeah, true. But they could make more money if they had it in China.
Yeah, and you think any studio doesn't want to make
more money?
So let's stop being stupid for a second and realize that like this would be a pretty devastating thing to happen to blockbuster films. Not obviously indie films and smaller films that have smaller budgets and are hyper localized movies. Excuse me. But if you're a fan of these like this new like the new James Gunn Superman, you brought up Superman.
Black Superman.
Like Superman. Do you think that you don't need China for this movie to like really pop? China's gonna. I mean, I know he's an American hero,
Truth, justice, and the American way.
but it's Superman.
Yeah.
Like it just hold on. Let's look something up real quick. Let's see. What am I looking up?
You tell me.
Okay, I'm looking up Man of Steel. Okay, 2013 Man of Steel. Because I want to see the gross for this movie. The last Superman proper. And by the way, the movie that like Snyder fans are like, why can't you just make this movie again? Rah, 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 rah.
Yeah.
Okay, the budget was between $225 and $258 million. It made $670 million. That's the total box office.
Right.
But let me go down to box office. It grossed $291 million in the United States and Canada, and it grossed $377 million in other territories. Now, do they have that broken down for making it the highest-grossing solo Superman film of all time, and the second highest when adjusted for inflation? I'm trying to find just China. Its biggest opener outside of the United States was in China, with a $25.9 million in 4 days earnings. So outside of in total earnings, its three largest countries after North America are China, 63 million, the UK and Ireland for 46, and Australia for 22.
Yeah.
So $63 million alone came from one country.
Yeah.
Now, you may say, like, well, it still made 670, and it made 22 in another country, made 46 in another country, but $63 million in one country for Superman.
Yeah.
That's a lot. That's a lot of money that these studios, I mean, that's you can't just ignore the amount of money that China brings in for some of these large franchises. I know Guardians did really well overseas. What are you looking up?
Highest grossing American films in China.
Oh, that's probably smarter than what I'm doing. Just doing a lot of guesswork here.
All right, let's see. Okay, so let's see. This post was 10 months ago, so relatively recent. And this is on the R box office of Reddit. Apparently, the Avengers Endgame made $632 million.
$632 million.
In China.
Do you think Endgame would be one of the most successful movies of all time if it not for China?
No.
600 and what? 20?
32.
$632 million.
Yeah.
Mind you, that was almost the entire gross of Superman, of Man of Steel.
Yeah. Yeah.
Continue.
Next is The Fate of the Furious.
They love the fucking Fast and the Furious movies.
We do too. $392 million.
That we do. So almost $400 million.
Furious 7 at $390 million. Avengers Infinity War, $359 million. Transformers Age of Extinction, $301 million. Aquaman, $291 million. The original Venom, $269 million.
Right.
Avatar, $262 million. Jurassic World, $261 million. And then finally, Avatar, The Way of Water, $245 million.
So you just have to think, all right, all of these movies except for Titanic, which isn't on that list at all.
Sure.
Pretty much all of those movies are in the top 20 highest grossing films of all time. I don't know about Venom. I don't know where Venom. I don't know where Venom ended up. But
Jurassic World? Is that
I think Jurassic World is up there.
really?
I think so.
Jamie, pull that up.
We really need it, Jamie.
We do. Too many links.
I know, it's just way too many links. Box office. Big office. It grossed over $653 million in the United States and Canada and $1 billion in other countries for a worldwide total of 1.6. It was the second highest grossing film of 2015 and the third highest grossing film of all time.
Wow.
So, yes.
I had no idea.
It's up there.
It's why they keep making them.
Yeah, that is why. To diminishing returns, but they kept making them. So you take away China and you have a completely different list. You just do. And so, I mean, essentially, I'm not trying to be, go against America here, but I'm just saying that it's not as cut and dry as, fuck them. Just let it happen. You know?
Yeah. I mean, it's reckless to do that. It just is. I mean, in order to do that successfully, first of all, the studios need to be able to brace for that adjustment so they can make movies for less, understanding that they're not going to have the Chinese market.
Yeah. Number one, they have to bring the budget of these movies way down.
Which should happen regardless.
Right. But you have to cut at least $150 to $200 million from these budgets. Yeah. It just, the industry is out of control right now. There's no reason why movies should cost $300 million to make. It's just, it's crazy.
Yeah.
And the fact that these studios keep believing that they're going to make $1 billion, I would love to be in these meetings where a bunch of suits are like, yeah, I mean, it'll do like what, $1-2 billion? It's like, what are you talking about?
All we have to do is clear $1 billion.
All
guys.
we have to do is clear. Man, being the budget guy, somebody's calling you and they're like, yeah, so filming got delayed. Jason Momoa twisted his ankle, so he's going to be out a couple days. All right, well, how much is that going to cost us? I don't know, $50-60 million.
Yeah.
Like, I'm surprised they don't drop dead just from heart attacks. Or maybe it's so much money that it becomes a point.
It's just numbers.
Yeah, you're just playing with, and it's like, okay, whatever.
It's monopoly money at that point.
Yeah.
I mean, it has consequences for your livelihood, but at a certain point, it's not actual money.
No.
It's not real.
And then you watch as the industry is in a tailspin and just implodes on itself. And then every time there's a movie that's really successful, people are like, "Oh, we're so back. We're so back." Like the Minecraft movie, we're back. We're not back.
Nah.
I mean, we're not back.
No.
Because that movie cost a shit ton of money to make.
Well, it's because it went through like, I don't know, 10 writers or something and reshoots, I'm sure.
Yeah. All for it to just be a meme movie.
I'm Steve.
Chicken Jackie. Did you see that video that I reposted?
Which one?
Well, there's one where it's another video of a bunch of people going ape shit when he says it.
Yeah.
This theater had an actual live chicken in it. Somebody had snuck a chicken. How do you sneak a chicken into a movie theater? There has to be something behind that. I don't believe that they were able to sneak a chicken in.
It's probably somebody's friend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so he says the line and these kids just explode. There's a guy on another guy's shoulders. They throw all their food and drinks and stuff. But no, we're back. We're back. That's what you want people to be doing in your. I swear to God,
we need memes. We need more memes.
This has actively made me not want to go see it in the theater because I don't know what I would do if somebody. Popcorn is one thing. I probably wouldn't go that crazy because it's like I'm seeing the meme. I see what everybody's doing. Yeah. But if somebody like threw a drink or like something, worse than that, I don't know what I would do in a situation. I'm not gonna sit there with nacho cheese in my hair.
Yeah.
No. And not spaz the fuck out. No. So sorry, Minecraft movie, but I'm not gonna go. I'm not watching that movie. I'm not gonna go to the theater.
No.
I didn't want to see it anyway, but I definitely not gonna see it now. I had no desire to see that fucking movie.
I think they'll be okay without you.
think they're gonna be fine.
I think they're doing okay.
Yeah. So I guess essentially this is just to say you have to. We're not in a position to just be able to say we don't need them in the film industry. You're just talking strictly Hollywood.
Yeah.
Hollywood is not in a position to say we don't need China.
Not immediately. I mean, they can adjust for it and be successful without China, but
China.
it would.
You got to bring your expectations way down.
It would sink a lot more movies than I think a lot of people expect. I mean, movies even like a year out would be affected by this decision.
Yeah.
So, again, we'll see what happens.
Mm-hmm. Unfortunately.
Yeah.
One thing that we don't have to wait and see is people's thoughts about Epic Universe. This is something that they've been working on for a little while now.
Yeah.
A little while. I think we talked about it a ways back.
When it was like first announced.
Yeah. And now it's finally up and running. They've done their family and friends thing.
She's ready, baby.
She's ready. And I've had a couple friends actually go who like have friends and family who work there.
Yeah.
Who have brought them in to get like their early
I know a
access
couple of
thing.
people who've gone for the friends and family.
Yeah.
So
this is going to be a hyper localized topic, but at the same
Not
time,
really, not
right,
really, yeah.
exactly. Because if you're somewhere else and you want to, I mean, this is a major
worldwide
yeah.
event happening right in our backyard.
Exactly. So let's get into it.
Yes. Could you grab me a beer, please?
Absolutely. You don't want another one of those?
I wanted to save it for you.
Oh, that's so sweet.
There's another IPA that's not a hazy that's in there that I also got for the beach when I went this past weekend. Oh, I'm so sorry you've been working out so hard. God.
2 days.
This guy's showing off.
2 days worth of workouts, man.
Make me sick.
Tell the people.
Okay. Oh, all right. I was just talking crap about you.
I know, I heard.
Okay, so, yes. Epic Universe is soon to open, but there's been a lot of press after the press preview event.
What the hell's a hybrid IPA?
Thank you. I don't know. We're not reviewing it, so I'm not going to get into it.
Okay.
It doesn't have lactose, though.
Hey.
I know that. I know that's right.
I know that's right.
It's nice. It's nice. I like it. But yeah, so after the press preview event, there's been a lot of news and reviews and...
News and reviews.
I mean, just full on, like... I guess what people consider, like, amusement park spoilers that have come out.
That's so silly.
I don't... Like, as much of an amusement park head as I am, I don't get the spoiler thing, personally.
Yeah.
Like... It's still gonna be something when I see it myself.
Right. What is the surprise that you were waiting for? You know.
I mean, to a certain degree, I get it, because it's like some people want to walk in like you are walking into a new place you don't know a thing about. That gives me anxiety. I just want to I don't mind knowing about like, oh yeah, you gotta check out this ride. This is kind of what it's about. This is like, what the ride is. I like having expectations. I don't know. It's just me.
Yeah, I
Or like skip this thing, go to this restaurant,
Yeah.
don't go to that one.
I just feel like it's too expensive to
Oh,
just
yeah.
walk around
On a
wandering.
whim?
Yeah, that's crazy.
No.
Yeah, I would
No.
definitely need somebody to be like, listen, you don't need to do that. That fucking sucks. That's too expensive. The food's better over here. Like when I went to Epcot, and people were like, well, yeah, you got to go to this place, and this place. Don't worry about this spot.
Yeah.
This country sucks.
You can skip this.
Yeah. Like,
Check this
yeah,
out.
Thank you. I don't want
You
to.
have to do this thing.
It's too big to just
Yeah.
wander around.
It's huge.
It's huge.
It's a local joke.
Local joke.
But yeah, no, I've gone all in on the reviews for Epic Universe. Ryan Bergara, actually, from Watcher.
Oh, really?
He has his own side project with another guy that they just talk about amusement park stuff. And they actually got invited to the press event. And so we're in Orlando checking out Epic Universe
Wow.
for everyone else. And a little excited there.
I just want to say for the record, Swamphead Brewery, you need to get your shit together. This, I mean, I guess you can't really, maybe you can see it on the camera a little bit. That's like filled to the brim. I mean, I guess I shouldn't be complaining about
To the
more
rim,
beer,
rim.
but it's so much. I don't even know how you got all that in there.
Also, the art looks conspicuously like Red Cypress.
Red Cypress. Yeah. Yeah, it does. Really does.
Real ones know.
Uh-huh. Rest in peace.
Uh-huh.
Okay, Ryan Bergara and his amusement park.
Some
themed-
other guy. I don't know. But yeah, he has a show that's just about amusement parks, and they were able to go to this press event. And so I listened specifically to like his hour-and-a-half long review of the park.
Yeah.
And it got me really excited. I got to be honest with you. I've been, just to give you some background, I've been trying to like remain completely calm about this park because I know realistically I won't be able to go to this park and enjoy it for like 5 years.
Why?
Because it's going to be so packed and so obnoxiously busy
Oh, okay, yeah.
for like at least the next 2 years.
Yeah.
All the people that have
At
like
least.
been booking for like since it was announced,
Yeah.
you got to get them all out first.
Yeah.
Then once things start to calm down a little bit, you go on like a Monday and maybe. But I'm just expecting it to take a while for locals like us to be able to actually go, if you're not loaded and can just buy like fast passes and whatnot, to go and actually have a good time and really like, feel it. Feel it.
Feel it.
Feel the vibration. But yeah, hearing the reviews from their show and others, it's just got me really excited.
Yeah.
So I just kind of wanted to go through it and get your take on like if you're excited for it as well, or if I'm on an island here, not an island of adventure. Okay, so let's go through the worlds. How about that?
Yeah, let's do it.
So the first one we have is the Wizarding World of Harry Potter, Ministry of Magic.
Lame.
Do 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 do.
What's with the portals? Do you actually walk through a portal?
You walk through a portal.
For real?
You walk through a portal every time, yeah. And apparently on the outside of there's like a central hub. Think Epcot, I guess, where there's like a central area
And there's like portals
around the lake,
to...
and there's portals that you can like go into.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
I like that.
And well, and someone described it as almost like Nightmare Before Christmas,
Yeah.
where it's like the trees have different like theming
Yeah,
on them.
yeah.
That's kind of what the portals are.
Okay.
Where you can see on the outside of the portal like what the theme is that you're walking into.
Uh-huh.
And as soon as you walk in, you like, you get that theme and you walk directly into that world.
Okay.
So a little like Islands of Adventure, but like more cordoned off depending on the world that you're walking into.
Yeah.
Okay. So the first one is the Wizarding World of Harry Potter, Ministry of Magic. And the sort of main attraction for this thing is the elevator thing. I think it's the Ministry of Magic itself, actually. So you apparently like walk into the if you guys know Harry Potter, you walk into the fireplace and you're transported into the okay. This is really hard.
Yeah. Yeah, no, cool.
The ride
No, I know
itself-
what you're talking about. I'm
Yeah.
not... All right, I'm not going to play dumb. I have seen the movies. I know what you're talking
The ride
about.
itself is called the Battle at the Ministry. So what you do is you get transported to the Ministry of Magic, and you get in the elevator. And the ride takes place in the elevator cart.
Cool.
And apparently it like goes up and down, it shifts left and right, and it's kind of like it's like a ride on like an arm, if you can kind of picture that, with a screen, but then there's like real elements as well.
Uh-huh.
So that seems to be there's like really real. I think the coolest thing is like there's really realistic animatronics apparently, and they mix that in with like some of the screen stuff to hide the transitions between scenes.
Cool.
And all accounts, this is one of those standout rides that like you have to see while you're there.
Sure.
So there's that. That's like the main ride of that area.
Has that just been attached to the Wizarding World, or is it a separate thing? Because before you even answer that, I'm finding it hard to visualize where they even put all this stuff. Because me and Eladi were talking about this.
Yeah.
And I don't know where they put all of this
Why'd
shit.
you use her government name? Sounds like you're mad at her.
I don't know. I've been saying her full name a lot more often. I don't know why.
Put respect on it. Yeah.
And so we were talking about it, and I can't visualize where they even put all this
Where
shit.
it exists. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I may need to see like an aerial view of it, because I just can't for the life of me understand where they had the room to put all this stuff. Because I know that they didn't change anything about Universal. They just added on to it.
Yeah, I think it's its own separate plot of land. I don't know if there's a way to get there from the other Wizarding Worlds.
Right. Okay. So yeah, you can't go into the Harry Potter section of Universal and then cut into, this is a whole other thing.
I believe so. Because
Kind of like that. They're
because
aping on the Wizarding World.
the other two that exist in Orlando, you can get to by train. They have
Right.
that train that you can get to. As long as you have the pass, you can go to the other one.
Right.
And it's its own little ride itself. This other one, I don't know if you can do that as well. I don't think you can. I think it's its own separate standalone thing. And to be fair, this Wizarding World Ministry of Magic area is set technically in the 1920s in France. So it's kind of its own thing.
So it's all right.
It's
all right.
it's pre-Potter.
Sure.
It's like its own thing.
Yeah. Okay.
It's the Fantastic Beasts universe.
Right.
technically. That nobody likes. I don't know why they're doing that.
Yeah. So can we talk about that?
Sure.
The fact that they spent upwards of millions of dollars to do something
Yes.
based around a franchise that people didn't even fuck with. I think this is insane.
It's stupid. They should have done more traditional Harry Potter stuff.
Yeah. What the fuck were they thinking with this? Do you think, conspiracy hats on.
Yep.
You think this has anything to do with J.K. Rowling trying to separate from the baseline actors who have all distanced themselves from her? So when she commissions something like this, she goes, well, you can't do another Harry Potter thing. Let's try to move on and work on other stuff with other characters. Nefariously going, I don't want to have to answer questions about Daniel Radcliffe and Emma, what's her name, and Rudolph, what's his face? I don't remember the actors' names.
Ray Fiennes.
Emma
Watson.
Is it Emma Watson? Emma Watson. Emma
Yes.
something.
Emma Watson.
And
Emma Stone's the other one.
yeah, right, okay. And then Rudolph something
The redhead kid.
is the redhead, yeah.
Yeah.
And then Ray Fiennes. And that's it. That's all I remember.
Professor McGonagall.
and Snape and all the other cast of characters.
Samwise Gamgee.
Yeah. And of course Gary Oldman, you know.
Kidding.
Guys,
Kidding.
we got it. Okay, don't relax.
I know.
Relax.
I know.
It was a subtle one.
It was.
And you slip
I
it
didn't,
in.
I didn't think they'd get it. Sorry.
Yeah, that's conspiracy. I don't know.
Yeah.
That moves.
I
moves
didn't-
a lot of money.
I didn't think that. I didn't think of that before. But you may be onto something.
Like, why wouldn't you just have another adventure? Why, like, that could have been like the Chamber of Secrets.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh, yeah.
it didn't
And
have to be.
There's no shortage of things they can do within the Harry Potter book and movie universe to expand the world that you can explore.
I can tell you one thing: doing it based around a poorly received prequel is not the move.
Prequel trilogy.
That
That most people forgot about.
they had
already.
to recast
Yeah.
because there was so much controversy with even one of the actors in the fucking movie itself.
Yeah.
That not only was it a poorly received series, but you had to recast it in the series.
Yeah. Rough time.
Like, just a terrible choice.
Yeah.
You don't think they could have pivoted at all? How long ago do you think that they were working on that? That they were like, I don't care what happens to Johnny Depp. Like, we gotta just keep pushing forward.
He's gone. He's gone.
And the only thing that they did was just like replace him with Matt Mickelson. Replaced him, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
Should have been Mads the entire time.
should have been actually. You're right. Yeah, should have been Matt the whole time.
Let Johnny go. It's fine.
It's over. Okay, he had his time. It's over.
Yeah,
It's over.
Let him be a wino. Just
Yeah.
let him go do his thing.
And Mads should have also been Doctor Doom for the record.
I don't want to get into it.
Yeah, no, just throwing.
He's got the perfect accent for it.
Just throwing it out there.
So
Should have been him.
yeah. Anyway,
Who's a better actor, Robert Downey Jr. or Mads Mikkelsen?
I don't think that's fair.
I think it is. I know I'm derailing this a bit. You want to do a bonus episode?
God,
We'll come back to this.
that's tough,
Let's
yeah.
let's table it. We'll come back.
Okay. All right.
So let's continue with this. We're gonna
Okay.
waste too much time on that.
Yeah, we're on our first world, folks.
Yeah. So that's we need to
Yeah,
move
so
on.
this first portal you walk into, okay, the ride is Harry Potter and the Battle at the Ministry. The sort of line here is, soar a magical lift as you help Harry, Ron, and Hermione stop Dolores Umbridge in Harry Potter at the Battle of the Ministry. So they are included.
I was just about to say everything that we just talked about.
But the thing is, the world outside of that, like the entire, like you walk through the portal and you're in 1920s France.
I wonder how many people were like screaming, like, just read the rest of it before you keep talking. Just keep reading.
You know, and it's
Just
funny.
keep reading.
It's funny because I remember seeing pictures and like kind of videos of as soon as you like walk into the ride, like in the queue, and you see that Dolores, what's her name, Dolores Umbridge, the like most the character you can hate the most in Harry Potter, that most people hate.
Oh, that lady.
Yeah,
I know.
Yeah,
I know.
Yeah, the super prissy woman.
She's terrible.
Horrible. But you see like the pictures of her like animated.
Well, there goes my conspiracy, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
right.
I wonder if it's them or if it's lookalikes or if it's like fake voices or whatnot. But anyway, that's the biggin in that world, and of course they have like interactive things with your wands, and that's all new and upgraded and
That's
stuff. Restaurants and whatnot. So yeah, that's. But you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't know how they got away with having that juxtaposition of timelines.
Yeah, that don't make no sense.
But yeah, that's what that world is. Okay.
That doesn't move me at all. But I will say I get it. I understand. And I know that, Harry Potter is obviously a massively successful franchise.
There's going to be the HBO show.
Right. And once that pops, that's going to be big. And then it's going to renew everyone's interest in Harry Potter. But I just have to stop lying to women on Hinge. I don't care about Harry Potter. Like, I just don't give a fuck about it. I've watched the movies. I've read the books. And it doesn't move me at all. And I have to stop lying to myself and to women on Hinge.
You're better than me. I've read the first book and just watched the rest of the movies.
Really?
Yeah.
You didn't read the rest of the books?
Didn't do it.
That is very surprising to me.
As a kid, I thought it was kiddie garbage.
It is kiddie garbage.
And I mean, I was a kid at the time too.
I'm an adult, and I can tell you it's kiddie garbage.
But I had this superiority complex because I was like, I'm like a teenager now. Like, I'm a young teen. I don't want to read this like goo goo gaga magician crap. And no, because let me be honest here. What happened was, at the time it came out, my younger cousin Nicole was the perfect age for it.
Yeah.
And so her parents got it for her, and she read it. And I'm not sure if she continued through the rest of it, but she was like super into the first book or so. And then my mom was like, "Oh, your younger cousin Nicole, she loves it. You should check it out. I hear it's really good." And I was like, immediately like, "No, I'm not going to do that. Actually,
Yeah.
I think this is for 7-year-olds, and it sucks actually." And I read the first one. I'm like, it's fine. It's actually okay.
It's a pretty zippy book. Like, it reads pretty quickly.
It's very easy read.
Yeah,
it's charming.
It's fun. Yeah.
It's a romp. It's a fun romp. But then I was like, I started reading through the second one. And I was like, I'm done.
Yeah.
and pushed it aside. Never got back to him.
I'll say this: I got to the 5th book, Goblet of Fire, and definitely was over it at that point.
Yeah.
But felt that I was in too deep.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And you're in the 5th book.
Actually, I will say this: I didn't finish the book series either. I read Goblet of Fire. I read the one after, but I didn't read the Half-Blood Prince. I don't remember reading that one.
Okay.
Yeah. Maybe I didn't read the Deathly Hallows either. I think I stopped at Goblet of Fire. But I watched all the movies, unfortunately.
Yeah. Unfortunately.
They're bad.
They're
not
not
bad.
bad.
They're not
They're
bad.
not bad
They're
movies
good
at all.
movies.
They're not
Okay.
bad.
I'm not going
I
to
mean,
take it that far.
The
They're good
quality
movies.
ebbs and flows a little bit, depending on who's directing.
Yeah.
I think Chris Columbus had a good run.
It is very interesting to get to the Deathly Hallows because those movies are like
Deadly serious.
yeah, it's like what is going on,
Which
man?
I
They're
loved.
cold
I loved.
and very like they're not hard to watch, but they're hard movies.
Yeah.
There's a lot of like emotional depth to them.
It's
That's
very
like
cold looking.
yeah, it's
dark.
it's a cold movie. Just watching it is
Yeah.
It was just very interesting because of the whimsy of the other movies. So they're not bad movies,
They're not.
but I don't give a fuck about Harry Potter. So
I love the Gary Oldman one. That's my favorite.
Prisoner of Azkaban.
Oh god, so
Great.
good.
Great.
So good.
Yeah,
Never got better than that.
it might be the best
I think
book
it
and
is.
best movie.
I think it is. I love it. I love it. Okay, next up, Super Nintendo World. Something I was able to experience in Japan. Apparently, this one's very similar, but they added in the Donkey Kong area.
Donkey
Kong. And the Donkey Kong roller coaster.
Donkey Kong.
So, there's been a bit of people poo-pooing the Donkey Kong roller coaster, saying like they expected more. But then I also heard the opposite and saying like people are just being too harsh on it, and it's like a fun kids roller coaster.
Expected more in what
I
did they
don't know.
expect? What
I
does
don't
that
know.
what does that mean?
I don't know. I think people are.
Did they want the roller coaster to like come off the rails?
Well, they have it look like that's what's happening
Yeah, but it seems like people
to actually jump the rails. Yeah.
But that is pretty cool that it does look like that.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty cool.
Yes, they have that. They have the
No shot I would get on that.
No,
I don't care if it's for fucking 5-year-olds.
Really, you wouldn't get on it?
That's not true. I probably would.
Okay.
If it was for kids.
I mean, I think you could handle this one actually. It seems less intense than like the Mummy even.
Then I probably would do it.
Yeah.
I would want to just do the Waterworld one. Let's just float.
Yeah.
Just put me in a pod and let's just float.
Just put on aquatic ambience.
Yeah.
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 You're on a swordfish.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would do that the entire time I was there.
So they have that. They have the Mario Kart game or ride.
And it's
Augmented reality style.
but are you in actual carts?
Yeah, it looks like a cart. It's not technically a cart.
Looks like a cart. Smells like a cart.
I mean, what I would closely associate it to as far as like how it feels and looks is a bit more like in Universal, a bit like the Cat in the Hat ride. Like it's one of those that you just you're like in a little vehicle.
I don't like that. I want to just race.
But and that was kind of my biggest beef with it is like you get no sense of speed. Like it doesn't feel like you're going fast at all. You're just kind of like. But the interactive elements where you're like you have these glasses on, these actually they're like goggles, and it makes this augmented reality thing happen where you can look and you hit like triggers and you can like shoot shells at stuff as you look around.
That's cool.
It's fun, and the entire like ambience of the place is really cool. And then you go through different like Mario Kart 8 where you're like on land first and you go underwater and then you're like in this like Bowser Kingdom area. It's all very fun and cool.
It would be too many human beings to try to like coordinate races over and over
Start
and over
chucking
again.
stuff at people.
Yeah, people would be man. But can you imagine though if you could just like press a button and like fire a shell, not like a plastic just
and they spin. Yeah.
Or even just like laser tag. If you got behind somebody and just boop and the the thing like a sensor on it,
Yeah.
like stopped your cart, spun you.
Yeah, with your augmented reality, you see the shell fly out.
Yeah, that'd be
fun.
sick.
Yeah. But no, it's not that, but it's still a lot of fun.
No, it's not that.
It's not.
Not
sorry.
that.
Gotta squash that for you. I'm sorry.
I'm excited about the Super Mario World. Just it's
being
Mario.
there is awesome.
Yeah.
And I mean, I guess
I've seen pictures of it and stuff. It looks.
Consider this whole thing spoilers, by the way, if you're one of those people who doesn't want to know anything about it. But at least in Japan, when you first walk in, like it literally looks like you're walking into Mario 64.
Yeah, that's
like
it.
they have that like like the when you first walk into the Princess Peach's castle.
Yeah.
It's like that same thing with like the stained glass and like that star shape in the middle. And
Yeah.
you walk through and you hear the music and stuff, and
oh.
you when you go through a pipe, it goes. Yo, yo, yo.
That's cool.
Yeah. It's
Did
nice.
you ever hear that conspiracy that, or not really conspiracy, but the theory that the Goomba that's following you with the camera is recording a live feed for Bowser, and that's why when you die, it's like whoa, because he's watched you fail, and that he's laughing at the live feed that he's watching.
I never heard that. No.
I just heard that the other day. Somebody told me that.
I always just assumed it was like your camera in the game, like it's what you're seeing of your character.
Yeah, that's what I.
Yeah.
That's what I always assumed.
Yeah.
And then I don't know where this theory came from.
Because that's the icon when you like switch your view in 64.
Yeah.
So I assumed it was just him like.
Yeah. But what is he recording for you? Is like who are you to this universe that he needs to record that?
It's fair. I don't think they thought that deep into it, but yeah.
I think it was more like an Easter egg thing of like if you stand at a certain angle and you can kind of see him, you're like, oh, there's a guy. Fucking that's my view is this camera.
It's this guy,
that's
yeah.
cute
Yeah.
because it's what 1996, 1997. I don't think people were thinking that deeply about it.
They weren't.
Anyway,
That's fun though. Okay, next up we have the Isle of Berk, which is the How to Train Your Dragon area.
I will say, on the top of this is the one that confuses me the most. I didn't realize that the How to Train Your Dragon franchise was so popular that it warranted its own spot in a theme park.
I have to say, same, but with an asterisk, because these movies have, it was a trilogy of movies, have all been critically acclaimed.
Sure.
Everyone loves them, apparently, who's seen them. I've only seen the first one. I thought it was really good.
I saw the first two, and they are really good.
Yeah. So
Not seen the third one.
I will say that, but from everyone's reviews so far of this land, it is one of the best. And
Of course.
specifically what like that Ryan Bergara video said is that obviously not as cool as the franchises, at least to us, but this is apparently like what Galaxy's Edge should have been.
Oh.
Where there's even more interactive characters and like a lived-in world that everywhere you walk, it seems like it's bustling with characters and things to experience and people to talk to, and like this really like true to life lived-in experience that Galaxy's Edge was kind of trying to do, but this apparently takes it to the next level. Are you seeing yourself in the mirror or in the window?
I think she woke up and I think she had a nightmare. Like woke up. Hey. She saw a direwolf in the mirror.
The direwolf speaks.
It's okay.
You're all right. You're okay. Do you mind closing the blinds so she doesn't freak out? Just pull it down. Yeah, there you go. And then you can close the spin that doohickey. Thank you. That's it. She's okay. As I was saying before I was rudely interrupted, apparently this land
It's your land.
is your land. This land is my land. from the Isle of Burke. But no, apparently this area has a lot of interactivity, a lot of fun. It's obviously aimed towards kids. But there's like a show that you can see there. There's like truly a kids roller coaster that's apparently a lot of fun.
Hell
still.
yeah. My speed.
Yeah, yeah. And that's still relatively thrilling, but like definitely like baby's first roller coaster.
Yeah.
That apparently has like all this has like good story elements to it, so it all ties in very well. And then there's I think like if you've seen the movies, How to Train Your Dragon, so you're learning how to fly the dragon and stuff. So there's a thing where there's like a claw that you're riding on a dragon, and you're like mounted on a fake, like a training dragon, essentially.
Cool. I did see the video of the Boston Robotics.
Oh yeah,
that's crazy.
Yeah, they have meet and greets with but robotic dragons. And,
okay, man, grow up.
Real dragons.
How old are you?
I'm getting excited. I'm sorry. But yeah, no, they have meet and greets with the dragons.
You know what? If all of this technology was just dedicated to making theme parks more interactive, I wouldn't have a problem with it. Yeah. You know, if they just dressed up those creepy, bipedal robots into dragons.
Yeah.
And that was it.
Yeah.
Like, all right.
It'd be fine. Yeah. Stop making teenagers sweating those things in the summer to be Mickey Mouse.
Yeah, just make it robots.
Yeah.
And then you could program to say things. Right. Yeah. Well, just make it a Siri thing where like you can ask it questions and it'd be like, oh, and then, answer in character. You don't have to have some fucking, kid sit there and go, and that's all he can do is just wave.
And the eyes blink.
And then at some point, one of them does the Dougie, and you're like, he shouldn't be doing that.
You can't do that. You can't do it. Yeah, so there's the Dragon Racers Rally, which is the one with the claws that flies you around. This one seems cool. It's the Fire Drill, which is apparently an interactive, like, boat shooting ride.
Okay.
So you're on a Viking boat, but you have these like water cannons, and there's multiple boats on the water at the same time, so you can actually shoot each other too.
That's cool.
Yeah. And but there are targets that you can hit, and it just seems like a lot of fun. So
that's sick.
Yeah. So and then just like a splash pad for kids and stuff. So yeah, I mean it's very like kid focused, but it seems like they took it seriously enough to like really make it feel special.
Right.
And you can you can pet Toothless and he interacts with you.
Yeah.
And there's lots of like dragon experiences that you can actually like pet the dragons, which seems like it's nice.
Yeah, I mean I'm not mad at it. I just it's just one of those things where I'm like, I didn't realize that there was enough demand for this.
I was very doubtful about it myself because I'm like, they haven't made one of these movies in years.
Yeah. Well, that's how I felt about the Avatar thing that they were building.
Oh, yeah. But, at least that has plans for more movies, to come. I know they're making a live action movie of How to Train Your Dragon too, but I don't know. I mean, it just seems like it's not as big of a franchise as Avatar.
No.
With James Cameron at the helm.
Ironically, though, it's probably more critically acclaimed.
Yeah.
I think critics like it more than they like Avatar.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see that. All that to say, seems actually more interesting than I thought it would be.
Sure.
Okay, next up. The one that, like, pays for itself for me. The one that I am the most excited for. And that's the Dark Universe, my friend.
Yeah.
It is everything I wanted from Universal, being a big Horror Nights fan.
Yeah.
Is to have a place that is dedicated to horror.
A year-round
horror haunt.
Yeah.
In Universal proper. And
Universal's the name of the game when it comes to this kind of thing, so they have this kind of stuff down pat. It's weird that it's taken this long for them to have just a dedicated horror thing.
Yes.
at the park.
Yeah. But apparently this is another standout, and I'm so happy to hear that.
Yeah.
Because this is one of the big ones that I'm so excited for, and that has a lot to do with the fact that they have essentially a modern day dark ride in the spirit of like in the spirit of Disney's old dark rides that were actually pretty scary and put you through this adventure in the dark. And so it is called Monsters Unchained: The Frankenstein Experiment, and this one seems to be the standout along with the Harry Potter ride.
Okay.
It's another one of those that's like you're on a claw essentially that moves you around. Think the Harry Potter ride at Islands of Adventure where you're like kind of strapped down. And there's like animatronics in your face, but horror themed and apparently actually really scary and a lot of fun and thrilling. And a lot of people walked away from this saying like it is one of those like rides that you can't find anywhere else. It is a one of one that's going to inspire other rides to like make that level of animatronics, that level of like synergy between the screens and live action stuff.
Wow.
I can't wait. I cannot wait.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I didn't want to get excited for this, as I said before, but I can't wait for this.
You can't
one.
help yourself.
Yeah, yeah. And apparently the world follows suit where like this ride is essentially like the castle at Magic Kingdom. It's all the way in the back, and you can see it from any vantage point once you're in this world.
Okay, cool.
And you'll see like the effects in this like castle affect the entire world.
Yeah.
In this area. So like power surges in the castle and it will cause the lights to flicker in the entire world.
That's pretty cool.
Yes. Music cues happen based on like what's happening in the castle.
Yeah.
All of this was orchestrated by Danny Elfman, apparently. They sell it on vinyl.
What?
In the park. So, what more can you ask for? And yeah, it just seems so cool. And there's, again, a lot of, like, interactive characters. There's, like, Igor characters walking around. They have the Invisible Man talking shit to people, apparently.
Yeah.
I mean, it just looks perfect to me. This is the one that I'm most excited for.
Yeah.
They have a spinning coaster that's Curse of the Werewolf. The makeup thing you can do if you want to get dressed up like a Frankenstein or whatnot.
What do they do, like face painting?
Yeah. And restaurants and stuff. And they have the Burning Blade Tavern that looks really cool, where it's a windmill that catches fire every once in a while.
Cool.
Yeah.
They like their every minute and a half fire thing.
Yeah, oh yeah, it's a photo op for sure. And Das Steakhouse.
Okay.
Where you can get your meat bloody. Yeah. So that, I think, is my standout that I'm most looking forward to. But I'd be remiss if I didn't also mention the like portal of entry before you get into any of those worlds, which is Celestial Park, which is this beautiful entryway with lots of fountains and, flowers and all these things, but also a dueling roller coaster that you will never go on.
You're right.
Yeah. They say it's more extreme than Velocicoaster.
That is the one way to get me to never get on that ride.
Yeah. But they say it's a beautiful entryway for you to get.
What do you need a roller coaster for at the entrance? That's crazy.
That's actually pretty similar to Universal Studios in Japan. They have a roller coaster right in the front.
That's insane.
Yeah. But apparently that's another standout for thrill seekers who want to enjoy that kind of thing. That's it. That's the whole thing.
Okay. I mean, it sounds... Well, I don't know how much it costs, but...
A lot.
I mean, I know it's not considering everything that you
Keep
can
talking.
do...
I'm going to go pee. I'm going to listen to you, though.
Sure. Over his... You frying chicken in there, boy? Considering everything that you can do at this park, I know that the price point... Let's see if I can pull up the price point on here. This handy dandy tablet right here. Park tickets. Let's see. Let's see if I wanted to do just Epic Pass. No, I don't want to do that. Epic Universe. Okay, find tickets. Let's pretend like we're buying tickets. This changes everything. Explore tickets. Learn more. Explore tickets. What do you think I want? Like, what do you think I'm asking for? You're almost there. Do not close this window. Refresh due to the popularity. Okay, this is interesting. Due to the popularity of this offering, we are currently experiencing a high volume of requests. Hold tight. This page will update when we're able to start your order. Oh, it's updating pretty quickly. Please note that the capacity is limited and not guaranteed. All right, let's see what happens. Let's pretend like we're buying a ticket, and we're going to see what happens, how much it's going to cost. Okay, here we go. Here we go. All right, 3-day ticket. I don't know if you need 3 days to do this, but let's just say you did. The 3-day ticket. Oh, okay. This is not that bad, actually. It's not terrible.
It should align with what the other parks are. Yeah. I don't think they're charging a surplus because it's a new park.
No, so you kind of just can add it to your ticket. You wanted a 3-day ticket if you're a Florida resident. Go fuck yourself. Enjoy 2 days to move
recession indicator
between Universal Studios Florida, Islands of Adventure, Volcano Bay, and one separate day at Epic Universe. So you get 1 day. You get 2 days at the other parks, and then one separate day for Epic Universe. $128.34 for an adult ticket. $125.33 for a child ticket, which I'm like, dude, you're only gonna knock off $3
for how old the kid is.
It's crazy. No, it is 3 to 9. It's literally like, bro,
that's ridiculous.
Yeah, that's a crazy.
My 3-year-old would never.
$125 that I have to pay for
them to get on like one ride.
No, that's
cry the rest of the day.
No, that's
get a hot dog.
I will say that right there, not worth it. No. Universal, not worth it. If I had kids and I had to spend another $125 on a fucking 4-year-old.
No.
Yeah, no, not worth it.
That is not as bad as I was expecting it to be, though.
No, it's not bad. 3-day ticket, Florida residents, online savings only. Let's say you wanted to move. Okay, wait, hold on. No, these are the Epic bundles. What if I just wanted Epic? Okay, so right now you have to do like a bundle. Right, 3-day Florida resident for the 3 parks, no Volcano Bay, and then let's say you wanted to just Universal, Islands of Adventure, and Epic, $100 flat for that.
That's not
2
bad
days
at all.
And then 1 day for. Yeah, that's not terrible.
That's really not bad at
all.
all.
Horrible price. You know, we're talking about theme park prices here, ladies and gentlemen. So sure, $100, but $100 per person.
That's really not bad at all. That's not bad at all.
They charge an arm and a leg for this shit. So. Yeah.
I mean, understand you're going to spend another $100 in the park.
Absolutely. Like, undoubtedly.
Yeah.
You get that vinyl. You know that vinyl's going to cost like $60.
It's $40, actually.
There you go. $40. Okay.
Not bad.
Not terrible.
Not bad.
I mean, baseline price of like modern vinyl.
$30, $40.
So, it's not terrible.
Yeah.
Not terrible. You want to get some food, parking,
drinks.
Ubering if you don't.
Are you kidding me?
The drinks are going to cost you another $100 just by themselves.
Yeah.
So, I guess if you're not from around here, you need to have, I'd say, like $300 of spending money.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Ticket and then just like enjoying the park. You need to have like $300 on you. So yeah, don't think you're gonna come down here for like 100, 150.
300, mind you, for you.
For you, yeah, for you.
Yeah.
For you.
Not talking about your kids, not talking about your girlfriend, your wife, whatnot.
Yeah, don't remind me.
No. No.
So that's not terrible.
That's not that bad.
It's not a terrible price.
Not that bad. Surprised.
Yeah. I would say, we'll do it at some point. You guys will do it. You film it, and I'll watch you do it. No, I'll go. I definitely want to go. I definitely want to check it out. And
we got to do the Monsters ride at least.
Yeah. I want to but I'll do anything that Ryan Bagara says is for children.
Okay. Fair enough.
I'll do those rides.
Fair enough.
I won't be tricked again. I won't be fooled again.
Yeah. By the way, this is a roller coaster. What?
Yeah. Soon as we get up to the thing and they're strapping it on. No, because you know what? Here's the thing. I read the signs now.
Yeah.
You know, I don't trust my fucking friends anymore. I have to read the signs.
How
and
can you
it's like,
how can you tell about the signs though?
the sign? No, well, when you're walking through the thing, it'll be like if you have heart problems.
Yeah, but that could
if
be
you-
like a Spider-Man ride too.
Doesn't matter.
You just say no for all of it.
It depends on the severity. They definitely, there's levels to it. If they're like, you know, this will make you a little dizzy, you know, or if you're pregnant, like all of them say, like if you're pregnant,
Yeah.
you know. So that there's like a baseline. There's definitely ones that have like a guy dying, and you're like, I don't want to get on that one.
The guy puking off the edge.
Yeah, there's like the ones that are like a dude hanging upside
Yeah.
down and like his head's falling off, and you're like, that's the one that I probably shouldn't get on.
Yes,
we'll get on
yes,
that one.
Yeah.
So, I have it down to
Okay.
not a science, but I'd say a pseudoscience right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah. Fair.
All right, so it all things considered seems to be like a fun thing to do.
Yeah.
We recommend it in so much as what we know about
Sounds awesome.
it. Yeah,
Yeah.
and then we'll have to do it ourselves.
Our damn
and then,
selves,
and then,
yeah.
and then come back to this.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
All right. Okay. We have two more things that we have to do before we get out of here.
Yes.
And the first among them is the cheers of the week. So, Obi, do you want to start us off and give us your cheers?
Yes. I thought you were going to say of the week, and that's why I gave you that pregnant pause. My cheers of the week goes to pub subs on the beach.
Pub subs on the beach. Right on.
If you haven't done it, speaking to you, you people out of Florida, and you're coming for a vacation,
Yeah.
you owe it to yourselves to go ahead and get yourself a pub sub. Go to the beach.
Yep.
Doesn't matter which beach. Pick your poison.
Mm-hmm.
But grab yourself a pub sub, put it in your cooler, and go out to your beach of choice. Have yourself a day. I mean, it's the perfect combination.
Yep.
I love it so, and I can't recommend it enough.
You know when people come to a place like Florida, Orlando specifically, and they're like, I want to do what the locals do.
Yeah.
I want to go to your bars. I want to be like a local.
Yeah.
Number one, you got to go to the bars, obviously outside of like Kissimmee. and-
Yeah.
But number two,
I
if you're-
drive.
If you're gonna go to the beach, there's nothing more local than going to, the nearest Publix, grabbing a sub, throwing it in the cooler,
Yep.
and then when you get there, unpacking that bitch and eating a
Absolutely.
sub on the beach. You wanna eat like a local? That's what you do. Pub sub.
It's like a Floridian, like, it's a classic to go in your pool or go to the pool and come out and like still have pool water hands and just have yourself like a regular ass sandwich with chips.
Yeah.
This is like that, but how God intended.
Exactly. Exactly. Yep.
So
I hear you.
yeah,
I hear it.
Yeah.
All right. My cheers of the week is going to family vacation / reunions. The reason that the previous couple of episodes have kind of had like a weird release schedule is my fault.
What else is new?
I went out of town to see some family / family reunion / birthday for my Auntie Lynn, who turned 70. Happy birthday, Auntie Lynn. If any of you are stumbling upon this, I know some cousins actually do listen to the
that's
show,
nice.
which is very nice. Yeah. And it was a beautiful, beautiful party until the last part, which I forgot to tell you about, which I will. It's crazy.
Okay.
But it was beautiful up until that point. And I got to see a bunch of family, a lot of cousins that I hadn't seen in years, a lot of people who were like, I haven't seen you since you was this
course.
big. And, the whole rigmarole of seeing family and everything. But the cheers is going to just the nature of doing that. You get out of town, you get away from like the responsibilities that you have at home.
Yeah.
I had a couple of friends watch our dogs for us, so that was really nice. I could see them on the Ring camera taking my dogs out. And I was watching them like a hawk.
Sure. Need that assurance.
And just being able to be around family that you don't get to be around. And I know that this is a luxury. Don't take it for granted. The fact that I have a massive family and they all treat us with love and respect. And I go out and I see these cousins and these aunties and uncles, and they're all like happy to see us. And it's all like, all families have drama. All families have
course.
weird, like, what's his deal and what's going on
Friction.
with that? Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
in a moment like this where everybody's there to celebrate the life of someone that we all love, it was a very positive time.
Yeah.
Good energy. Gave me like a shot of electricity to come back and like feel good.
Yeah.
So, yeah. If you can, do it. Because, okay, this is my last thing that I'll say about it. But, I mean, with work and with everything that's going on, I might not have gone.
Yeah.
And I kind of was like, let me put all that stuff aside and just go. Because I was worried about the plane ticket. I was worried about the dogs. I was worried about work. I had all these things that I was like, well, what if?
Yeah.
And then I just told myself, like, well, what if I don't see some of these family members again? What if I don't go and it's a good time? What if that, you know?
Yeah.
So I took it as an opportunity to be like, let's just fuck it. Just go.
I will say regret is worse than most things. So
Absolutely.
weigh that into your decision making whenever you're choosing to do or not do something.
Right. And so I did. And so I went and it was a good time. So,
Good.
all right. One last thing before we get out of here, and that is to review this brewski. So, the Man-Child from Hidden Springs Ale Works in collaboration with The Thirsty Topher. A peanut butter and jelly inspired sour ale with grape and blackberry and lactose and nuts.
Yeah.
Obi, what'd you think?
I really liked it. Yeah. Yeah. I'm going to give it a 5. I thought it was great. I really, really enjoyed it. I think it all actually worked really well. I was a little worried that it'd be overly sweet and it would have like an overbearing peanut butter flavor, but it doesn't. It actually does have this very nice balance between the sour notes and the sweet notes. And it's very smooth from the lactose. And I think all the elements together work together very well. And I think they did a good job with this one. So, unfortunately, I can't have it as often as I would like to because I'm lactose intolerant. But that being said, it's 5. It's 5 out of 6.
I literally have nothing to add. You said it perfectly.
Yeah.
I'm going to also give it a 5. I was genuinely surprised at how much I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
They did a really good job with this.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd almost venture to go even higher.
Yeah.
Maybe a 5.5. I guess the only thing that I would say is, like, if you're not a fan of sours, you probably still won't dig this.
Yeah.
So stylistically, it may prevent it from being as, I guess, far-reaching as
Yeah.
it could be. So I'm going to stick with a 5.
Yeah, it's technically Berliner Weiss, right?
It just says sour ale.
Okay. I thought I saw
So-
online somewhere it said that. but-
Maybe. I mean, probably technically a Berliner Weiss. 5.5 sour. I don't know.
Yeah, who can say?
Who can say? Well, Hidden Ale Works can say. They would be the ones.
Yeah.
But in any case, unanimous 5. This is a very, like, surprisingly good sour. Good job, everyone involved. You think we got it?
I know we got it.
Well, if Obi says we got it, then this episode is over. This has been the One Beer and Podcast from myself, Marco Dupa, for Adam Obesis Rodriguez.
Yeah, buddy.
Thank you guys for listening. Drink delicious beer and have yourself a beautiful evening.
We love you.
Switch. Ooh. See ya.
La, 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 la.